Gabby.
Good evening, TC, and welcome all to our weekly podcast, Terry Curran's The Curran View, with the Order of Hillsborough and Mr. Terry Curran. Steady away, son, how are you?
Yep, steady away, like you just said.
It's been a decent week. Have you? What's the weather like up in the north?
Shocking.
Is it really? Have you got snow?
We had a little bit, but very little. But we've had bad frost.
Yeah, bit like in Birmingham. And the burning question, what everybody wants to know, is Terry Curran got his Christmas tree up yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Superb, TC. Let's get on to the magic moments. Let's get the podcast kicked off. Great week of football as well, by the way. I know that lots of people haven't got Prime Video, which is a shame. I think that all the games should be on Sky. That's what we pay our subscriptions for. But it is nice in midweek to have all 10 Premier League games on and some wonderful moments from the Premier League last weekend. TC, what have you sourced for us, sir?
Well, I have two really. The Arsenal, the first one is that, I hope I pronounce this right, Buonanotte, is it? For Brighton.
Okay, yeah, not familiar with that name, but there you go.
Buonanotte. Absolutely brilliant goal.
Okay.
To pull one back against Chelsea, making 2-1. I know Chelsea went on to win 3-2, but no. Did you not see the goal yourself?
No, I haven't seen it. I've been really busy this weekend, so I've seen bits of football, but I haven't seen the Brighton and Chelsea goals.
So it was a great goal. It came in from the left-hand side, bent it round.
Yeah.
But again, there's been plenty of goals where and it's very difficult to pick one when you know itself. There's been some fantastic Premier League goals, and then you've got to try and pick which one's the best. And the other one was the Odegaard against Arsenal. The movement itself reminded me of Arsenal at the best when they were under Wenger, keeping the ball and moving it around and pulling it back. Great finish, absolutely. Like a team goal, that really.
Arsenal do produce some fantastic team goals, and you're right. When Arsene Wenger had them, and now this recent crop at Arsenal, it's very similar in the way that they play football. I do think this season it's going to be three at the top: Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. We did, before the ball was kicked, pick our fourth place team. I picked Newcastle to finish fourth. Did you pick Chelsea?
Yes.
Do you want to change, or do you want to stick? You're going to stick with that. Do you still think Chelsea will finish in the top four, by the way?
Well, it's more difficult now.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I thought under Poch, it would be a little bit more easier for them, a bit more flowing football type of, brought to the game. But, the thing about it all is that they set off right, but they played in spasms, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, yeah. And in games, they played in spasms as well.
Yeah. And if when they're on song, they look a great team. Mm-hmm. When they're off it, you think, well, why have they spent all that kind of money? I mean, what are they, 19 points? It's going to take some doing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Villa. When you look at Villa have gone above Tottenham.
Yes.
And we're all talking about how well Tottenham were playing.
I think the problem is with Tottenham, and Tottenham are still playing some great football. I mean, a great result at Manchester City at the Etihad on Super Sunday. But I think that when Man City, when Tottenham have lost really probably 3 or 4 integral players, James Maddison being, for me, the biggest loss. And I think he's back in January, isn't he? So he's not going to be back for the Christmas, the festive games. I think that when you lose,
Tottenham in top 4, not Tottenham. I don't think I had Newcastle in top 4.
No, I did. I had Newcastle in the top 4, and you had Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. Well, I'm still, the judgment is out. To say I do like Tottenham. I think they've fallen off a little bit because of the injuries, but they're still a bloody good side, and I love the way
it just shows you if you don't fear
Absolutely, yeah.
And give the players the responsible to go and express themselves.
100%.
And for them to understand, it's not about having the ball; it's about not having the ball as well.
And you're right, T. Your belief, your way that you set the teams up. He's had important players that aren't there, but Andrew still played the same way. In that game against Chelsea, I mean, they had a couple of players sent off, but he still played the same way. He's not going to change his philosophy on the game, and I love that. Unai Emery at Aston Villa, exactly the same. He plays front foot football. He doesn't fear.
If you play the same way,
Yeah,
you're not having to make drastic changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
To fetch other players in.
Mm.
If you look at the great teams what play a certain way,
yeah,
they always fetch I played in teams where just so the left back got injured, to put the right back onto left back.
Yeah.
Drop somebody from midfield into right back.
Yep.
And then fetch some. So they're making three major changes instead of one.
Exactly.
And if you're watching that team, you know what's expected of when you get in, and then it's up to you to establish yourself.
Yeah.
So keep chopping and changing your teams around, and at times some players will come in and say, "Look, I'd like a best boss. I'm just feeling I've got a tweak here." That's good because that's giving the team the balance and the trustworthy among the team and the manager.
Absolutely, and that's the nice thing about Unai Emery. He plays the same way with the same players, and it's not a coincidence that he's getting the same or similar results because they know what they've got to do to win games. Villa know that they can score against anybody. If they can keep other teams out, which they have done largely, keep them out, they're going to get at least a draw and maybe 3 points. And 13 straight wins at Villa Park now. With Manchester City kicking off.
That's an incredible run, isn't it?
It's a phenomenal run. I mean, it really is a phenomenal. And I thought that again on Sunday because they played on the Thursday, didn't they? Villa.
Yeah.
So their game was brought back to Sunday away at Bournemouth. Tricky little game, nearly come unstuck. But Ollie Watkins come up with a last-minute header and got them a point. I thought that was a really, really valuable point for Villa. And
well, Bournemouth's beating Palace tonight. I mean, Bournemouth's picked up these last couple of weeks.
They've got some decent players, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And I thought that.
And he's not a bad manager, I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think it's probably a place that Villa would have gone in the past and got beat, but they have.
How bad have we become as coaches and managers in this country?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the better teams and the teams that we're talking about playing front foot football, mainly, largely, they're foreign coaches. Probably only Eddie Howe.
Majority want to play the front foot.
Absolutely, probably only Eddie Howe.
The reason why I threw that at you was because of Lampard and Gerrard.
Yeah,
I just
stunning, isn't it?
It's not. It's not. It's our mentality. It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, it's not that I'm baffled by it. I'm not, because probably they're looking at the English way is rolling your sleeve up and coming and giving people bollockings. Majority. Tuffy never did that. And Howard Kendall, not in my 3-year period to Everton and Forest. I guarantee you, there was none of that. Whereas the other the managers I played under, the good bliss. You could be winning 2-0 at half time and not playing well, and the manager comes and gives you a bollocking.
Yeah.
Now, give a rollicking for what? If I'm trying to get the best out of you and out of a team, and said that you're not playing particularly well, and some players are a bit fearful of having the ball, when they're under pressure and the fans are giving them stick, and then a manager comes in, I don't get a sense of that. I really don't.
No.
You've got to try and get the best out of these players. Look at Villa from under Unai Emery compared to Steven Gerrard. It just baffles you, doesn't it? Not baffles you, but it just makes you think, how bad are we as coaches or managers?
Absolutely, and not just the coaching, but the management side of it.
Yeah.
John McGinn was on Prime earlier, and he was talking about that. And under Gerrard, there was a grey cloud hovering over Villa Park. There was negativity around the training field, around everywhere. But Unai Emery has come in then, he's lifted it, and the players all clearly want to play for him. Clearly they're putting a one hell of a shift in every time they're putting the Villa shirt on, and that shirt isn't weighing heavy on their shoulders now. They look as though they enjoy playing for Aston Villa, and they play with a smile on their face as well.
Yeah, but again, I've played for a few clubs, and the ones where you go in and the training is enjoyable, and you can't wait to get in. Under Benitez, even at Liverpool, and yes, they won a European Cup or a Champions League.
Yeah,
I bet they'd be training. I mean, you always get the players what like the manager praise them, and the ones what don't will not praise them. But you've got to get 15, 16 players on your side.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're going to be using majority of the time. 15 to 16 players.
Yeah.
You know. And if you're not enjoying it as players, going into training, I used to love training. But at some clubs you used to think, fuck, it's so boring this. Yeah. You know. And that's what I found out with the British coaches.
Absolutely too. But going back to Chelsea, they did bring in a number of players. They have spent a lot of money. I don't know how they get away from the financial fair play, but there you go. And Everton
how they done it, don't you?
Well, I mean, they're selling academy players, aren't they? And it's all about balancing them.
No. They give them, instead of giving them a 3-year contract,
they give them 6, 7
years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So done over. Now, again, you take the tax accountants.
Mm-hmm.
They set the tax up for people.
Yeah.
So the ordinary working class are completely clueless to what's wanted of them, whereas the billionaires and the millionaires pay the accountants what know around, because it's accountant what sets it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And them accountants will pass it on to the other accountants. No doubt they'll get little backhanders along the way. You know, so that's what happens. That's what happens in life, in my football.
Absolutely.
All these billionaires. The amount of times people said to me, or people say, "Are you on TV? We don't make any money out of the game." Well, the rich people do not throw the money away. That's how they become rich.
100%, see.
That's how they become rich. Yeah, they still buy football clubs.
Yeah, and
I mean, I listen to some people talking about football clubs. Right? I don't know what tiers they've in, like Wakefield and Aubrey. And I mean, I know Aubrey don't play well. There's a team from, is it Rotherham, Sheffield, Shirebrook?
Yeah.
Said they're spending fortunes. Now, how can they spend fortunes? They've got to be laundering money. They have to be, because they don't get the gates to pay £200 or £300 to players, or £250. They don't get the gates. So where's the revenue coming from to generate, to pay these players?
You're probably right. Creative accountancy, or accountants that can circumnavigate their way around in running a football club. A manager that can run a football club. This fella at Ipswich, what a job he's done, hasn't he, McKenna?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Did you think? Because last season, roll back to last season, Sheffield Wednesday were up there with Plymouth and Ipswich, and it was very close. The two went up automatically, of course, and Wednesday through the playoffs. All three got over 100 points. But for Ipswich to kick it on and still be as good as what they are in the league above, and I'm not sure how many players they brought in, but I didn't see them bringing in any stellar or star names. It looks as though it's pretty much the same squad of last season.
I think they fetched one player in.
Yeah. What a job he's done.
One player in.
But again...
And sometimes...
Yeah.
Again, I'll guarantee you, when a team's doing well, nearly all them players enjoy going into training.
Yeah.
That is one of the big pluses to a success of a football team.
Mm.
I'm saying one, you've got to have technical ability, right? And the manager's got to be right where it makes it enjoyable for you to come in. So I bet you they can't wait to get into training.
Yeah.
Near mind. Because when you're winning, you can't wait for the next game anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Mm.
And yes, he has done a sublime job.
And the way that they play football is still playing the same way, which is fantastic. And Wes Burns' goal against Coventry the weekend. Oh. What? I mean, not just a great strike, but a great move. Started off from the goalkeeper.
But Coventry,
yeah,
Coventry do play some. I mean, we have seen some great goals from Coventry over these last 2 or 3 seasons, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Since Mark Robbins has gone back.
Yeah,
there.
He's done a fantastic job. I mean, he's lost his main goal threat scorer in the close season, and he lost Gustav Harmer to Sheffield United as well.
And that's a big thing for Coventry.
Yeah, it is.
When its financial structure is not the best, you know what I mean?
Yeah. To lose your 2 best players is difficult, but again, they're still competitive.
And he still plays, believes in the way how he wants his team to play.
And again,
I've also said about Mark Robbins.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's that's strong management. Sometimes when players do leave and they go, we ain't got him up front now, and we'll have to change our system. No, this is the way we're playing. We're going to continue playing. We've got promoted. We're going to keep playing the way. But you can't play that way in the league above, can't we? Watch us. We're going to do it. So well done to Ipswich Town. Birmingham City are away on Sky on Friday night at Coventry City. I think they're going to be taking something like 3,000 or 4,000 to Coventry. So it's going to get messy, I think. Yeah, definitely. Nicola Barella, his goal for Inter Milan against Napoli. I was watching that Sunday night. I do like to watch.
Tom had got back them on his Cooper, and he said to me, "Dad, come and have a look at this goal."
Brilliant goal.
Yeah,
great.
Like I said,
great feat.
There is some absolutely fabulous goals, but there would have been back in my day, same thing. It's just that the TV's there, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. Everything's recorded now, so we can play it back and watch it again. But I thought Napoli were very unlucky early doors. Almas had a shot that goalkeeper, Sam Arawi, got that, and knocked it round the post, was phenomenal. He made a couple of great saves for Inter.
One of them was an unbelievable save.
Oh, absolutely. Inter do look a good outfit, a useful, solid outfit. And
I will say about
Napoli was just
that manager's just like attacking, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but Napoli just hasn't clicked into place for them this season. But possibly last season where there was 50-50 situations, all went for Napoli. Those situations now have largely gone against them, and they haven't quite had that rub. And when you don't score and the other team do score, goals do change games. But I thought
confidence is a big factor in any
football. Oh, absolutely, and also as well,
when you get on that good run,
yeah,
everything like you said just comes off for you.
Absolutely.
And this season, where they may have gone in, or the pass may have gone there to create a goal, it's just not happening for them.
No, 100%. So, and that's the difference, isn't it? The fine margins that can define games and seasons. I can't remember. Well, I do remember the Watford defender Wesley, but I can't pronounce his surname. That goal pretty much from the halfway line. Great.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean,
I had them on Copen.
Yeah. Again, the
goalkeeper you can see what the goalkeeper's thinking. I don't believe this.
No, not at all. Centre half gets it.
Great vision. It's great vision from the player.
Fantastic. But we've seen a lot of goals from the halfway line recently, and that was superb. And then I watched the Liverpool game, and I thought, blimey, Trent's free kick, Trent's winner, and McAllister's goal. I mean, absolutely sublime, unbelievable, Jeff. And nice to see Jeff Stelling back on the radio with Talk Sport. I don't know if you
I
caught him
know,
this
but
week, Monday or Tuesday.
no, I have. But Jeff's brilliant on telly. I'm not saying he won't be brilliant on radio,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you know, on telly, you like to see his expressions and everything, don't you? You know what I mean? But
yeah,
he's got a voice. He's got a voice for radio as well as
absolutely.
the TV and
And
also.
he's got a great manner and a great sense of
Yeah,
humour as well. And I think it's a perfect
fantastic.
partnership with Ali McCoist. I did like Andy Townsend. Andy's here at Villa Park tonight
What's
doing the
happened with Alan
co-coms.
Brazil then? Has he finished or
No,
something?
no, Brazil's still on there. Wednesdays, I think Wednesday he does Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Um, Wednesday with Ali, Thursday with the Brain of Britain, and Friday with Party Parlour. But Jeff's on with Ali McCoist Monday and Tuesday. I think with Brazil trying to get up at that time in the morning and doing a breakfast show at
Mine
his
Ali,
age.
Ali's brilliant, and Ali would
Yeah,
be
it's
brilliant even on TV.
yeah, he's superb. Again, you get some that have got it and
Yeah,
some that haven't. Book Corner TC in association with myfootballbooks.com. First off, we're going to go up front the autobiography of Kerry Dixon. Good player, wasn't he, Kerry?
yeah. He's Chelsea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where did he buy him from? I know he went to finish up at Doncaster. He finished it. He managed Doncaster. I know it didn't
He
work
did,
out
yeah,
for him
yeah,
there,
yeah.
but it was a good player at Chelsea.
Absolutely. We're going to put him in the Legends Lounge a little bit later and we're going to talk about his career. But Kerry Dixon up front. And he was Roy of the Rovers for a certain period of time when he
He
first
was.
joined Chelsea.
He was.
And there's a fella, Jim Cadman, who does the Duncan Edwards Foundation. He phoned me up and asked me if I could get him Kerry's number, which I did. And there's a 60th anniversary celebration of Roy Race, Roy of the Rovers. Paul Trevelyan reinvented it in 1963 because Paul's a tremendous artist, drawer, sports illustrator, call them what you like. I did get a couple of hours with Paul. We cut a podcast together. The boy who was born to draw. I think Paul's now in his late 80s. He can't read and he can't write, but he can draw. And he was the artist
How
that.
strange is that?
It's mad, honestly. If you
Isn't it?
listen, honestly, so you listen to that podcast that I've done with Paul. Take me away, don't listen to. I mean, it took me 45 minutes to get a word in edgeways. He does not stop. He is phenomenal. He also did You Are the Ref, and he has done so much in his life. Sports Illustration, he's been over in America, worked with the golfers, the American football. It's absolutely phenomenal, which nicely leads me on to the second book this week, and it's called A Story of Sock Tags and Self-Belief by Paul the Beaver Trevelyan, as told by Neil Jeffries, forward by Alan Sniffer Clark. He's a good mate of Alan's, and in this book it gives you all pretty much his life story and the different things that he's got involved with, from being a kid, first drawing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, through to now that he's still drawing, he's still illustrating, and there's some wonderful, wonderful stories. In fact, we're going to go out with Maverick Tales, the story of how Don Reevy and Jack Charlton, with the Beaver, concocted the Revy plan for the 1972 FA Cup semi-final. So that's at the end of the podcast. But this is a wonderful book. I mean, it really is a work of art. And what Paul Trevelyan has forgotten about football is probably about as much as I know about football. The fella is an absolute genius. And in the latest edition of Backpass magazine, which is Christmas and New Year edition, issue number 87, £5.90 at all good shops. The Art of Football, Trevelyan on Francis Lee, the Spot King. The Spot
You know,
King.
he was brilliant how he got penalties in.
Well, absolutely, and they called. I mean, he got the nickname, didn't he, Lee won pen because Lee did win a penalty. In fact, I think there was only Stan Bowles and Rodney Marsh who had a similar ability to trip themselves up in the penalty area and get a penalty. But Franny Lee was fantastic at that. But Franny would pick himself up and take the spot kick himself. So there's a wonderful piece on Franny Lee here by Paul Trevelyan on page 26 of Backpass, and his wonderful book there, Story of Sock Tags and Self-Belief. And it really is a great podcast. I've really enjoyed listening to the genius that is Paul Trevelyan. And finally, out the trio this week, Duncan Edwards, The Full Report by Ian McCartney, foreword by Harry Gregg. It's a wonderful book about Duncan Edwards' career, and it goes through his career record. And, you know, it is a tremendous, fantastic book there.
Would have liked to see him play, you know, because everybody spoke about him, all the elder ex-players and managers and said, you know, he was an unbelievable player. So it would have nice to see some clips of him, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And the Backpass magazine, as you would expect, dedicated to Sir Bobby, and there's a lovely piece about Sir Bobby and the obituary in the centrepiece of Bobby, as in his later years, before dementia took Bobby and he couldn't get to Old Trafford like he used to, but there he is standing there as an old man at Old Trafford in hospital. The picture there in the Munich hospital there with a bandage round his head, and the other little picture in the caption there, Bobby Charlton 1968, 10 years after that, with the European Cup, Man United being the first English club to win the FA Cup. So there's a lovely tribute to Bobby, wonderful book about Duncan, and Paul Trevelyan's wonderful book, Sock Tags and Self-Belief. And there are really some fantastic stories and how them sock tags, because they were quite unique. Nobody had done that before, had they? Do you remember that when Leeds United started wearing them sock tags?
One of my mates has bought one of those.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, Mark Addy.
Oh, right, Mark is a big Leeds fan, isn't he?
Yeah, he bought one.
Oh, right.
Was it Peter Lorimer? I think it was Peter Lorimer. But I can remember there were day come out.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wanted one. You know?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Oh, well, you were kids.
Yeah.
Even though you were a Sheffield Wednesday fan or maybe a Chelsea fan or whoever you supported.
Yeah, yeah.
My brother was a Chelsea fan. You try and get those socks that in your colour, like, you know what I mean?
But that's what he did. He offered it to Bill Nicholson at first at Tottenham Hotspur, because Paul Trevelyan is a Spurs fan, and Bill Nicholson didn't want to know. He said, "We're Tottenham, we don't do stuff like that." Don Revie might need something like that with the image that Leeds United have got.
It's funny because, again, I'll go back to the England. You know, at Leeds United, he always did things to make it stand out.
Yeah.
Whereas England, he went the other way, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
You know, for me, that would have been a great thing for England, because we're making a statement.
Yeah.
At Leeds, he made a statement. With England, it was like on back foot.
It was quite incredible, really, that what he'd achieved and what he'd done, and now as a player as well, because Don Revie as a player, you know, he was
top player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top player.
You know, won the FA Cup.
I mean, Leeds United was stuck in that championship for years.
Yeah.
And he took them up with, I think they won the championship, and then, you know, it's incredible because they should have won 2 or 3 European Cups then.
Yeah, could have.
And more FA Cups and more little, because they were going for everything and they didn't have the squads in depth in those days.
No.
You know, it's incredible because they got to that many finals and semi-finals, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, absolutely. And I think I'm right in saying they you know, with Shankly's Liverpool, lots of people always said about Liverpool with Shankly, and, you know, and rightly so, they're a great side. But I think Don Revie had won just as much with Leeds United as what Bill Shankly did with Liverpool.
Well, he did, and don't forget, I mean, Liverpool to this day, that cop.
Yeah.
Shankly meant that cop, and that cop meant Shankly.
Yeah.
Because that's what stood out. We know the football, the trophies they won and the players they had.
And to listen to the rest of this podcast, head on over to www.patreon.com/SRBmedia. Thank you.